morning, my colleagues, my teachers, very great, very intelligent, very bright and responsive, knowledgeable, accomplished teachers. This is Ranawari CASET, and we will start the session with quiz. Today we will start the session with quiz. Now, who was General Franco? Dictator of Spain. When did General Franco become the dictator of Spain?
1939.
1939. When did he start coup in Spain? 1936. He was the commander-in-chief of the Spanish forces, and in 1936 he started the coup, and by 1939 he established himself as the dictator of Spain. When the army overturns the government, it is called coup.
When the army overturns.
When the army commander overturns the government, it is called coup. Army coup. Now do you know when commander-in-chief of the armed forces, what was the name? General Franco. When did General Franco start the coup? 1936. When did he establish himself as the dictator of Spain? 1939. Okay, now tell me, who was General Vishen? General Vishen was the dictator of Portugal. When did Portugal overthrow monarchy? 1974. When did Portugal become a republic? 1975. Okay, now can you tell me when was Vietnam divided? 1954. Vietnam got divided in 1954. When did what happened in Dien Bien Fort? In Dien Bien Fort, the Vietnamese people defeated the French forces, and it took place in 1951. 1951, what happened was that at Dien Bien Fort, the indigenous forces with indigenous instruments of war fought with French professional army, with professional armaments, and they defeated them. It was a great victory for Asians. 1951. Now, when did Vietnam got united and free? 1975. Who was the leader of the Vietnamese Revolution?
Ho Chi Minh.
Ho Chi Minh. And in his honor, a city has been named Ho Chi Minh City, and it is the largest city of Vietnam.
Yes, sir.
So you have to understand and appreciate that Vietnamese people fought to the end till they got the enemy out. They fought not only with the French forces, they fought with the American forces, they fought with the Chinese forces, and they proved to the world that if there is a strong will of a nation, then nothing can subdue them. If the nation has a strong will, nothing can subdue them. The same thing was proved by Japanese. When the Russian Armada surrounded them in 1905, youth of Japan took up a mission of do or die, and they fought with the same mission and drowned the Russian Armada down into the Japan Sea and put the flag right at Moscow in 1905. This was a great joy for the Asians, because Asians felt that it was their victory. And do you know what happened? When the Tsar got defeated, right at that time, the local people, the people of Russia, started revolt against the Tsar. The communist revolution started right from, it was already there, but it started catching energy, force, and vigor. And can you tell me, when did the Russian Revolution become a success? When did Russia finally? 1917. 1917, the government of Tsar was overthrown, and Tsar along with his family was killed, and Lenin took charge of the government. And can you tell me what was the position of Russia at that time vis-a-vis First World War? Russia was already in First World War, fighting against the Germany. And now when Russia became a republic, so Russians did not want to continue the war anymore. They said that this war has been imposed upon us by the Tsar. And since now Russia is not controlled by Tsar, we want to have peace. So they had a peace treaty with Germany. They had a peace treaty with Germany and withdrew from war. Now, can you tell me what happened, say, in 1956? In the Arab world, what happened in 1956? In 1956, 1950 Arab became free. In 1956, Suez Canal was nationalized. In 1956, Suez Canal was nationalized, and the person at the time who was in charge of the affairs was Colonel Nasser. Colonel Nasser declared nationalization of Suez Canal. And what happened at the time when he nationalized Suez Canal? French forces and the British forces attacked Egypt. And naturally the Egyptians went to Russia, USSR, for help. And you know who was the Prime Minister of Russia at the time? He was Bulgarian. And Bulgarian warned Britain. And do you know what was that warning? If you do not stop war against Egypt, I will bomb your country so heavily that it will get sunk into the sea, and future posterity will not believe that there was a country like United Kingdom ever existed. So they at once stopped the war, and Egypt started controlling the Suez Canal. Now, can you tell me which two water bodies are connected by Suez Canal? Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea. What is the importance of Suez Canal? Why is Suez Canal so important?
For trade.
But for trade, no. It is important because it reduces the distance. The Western countries had to go round Cape of Good Hope to do their business with the East. Now what happened was that because of the Suez Canal, they had a shortcut. They had a shortcut. They could cross the Suez Canal and reach the Asian countries. So that is why Suez Canal is important. Can you tell me why Suez Canal is called Suez Canal?
It was made by engineer Suez.
His name was Suez, and in his name the canal had been named as Suez Canal, and this canal was jointly, this venture was jointly taken up by Britain and by France. That is why it was controlled by Britain and France. Now, can you tell me which water body connects Pacific Ocean with Atlantic Ocean? Panama. Have I told you that Panama Canal was not a canal there, it was a big mountain. And this big mountain was defaced by the American government, and in its place a canal was made. But in doing that, about 25,000 people have died, workers have died. And it was first of all done by the private contractors, but when private contractors could not do this, then government of United States of America took it upon themselves to complete this job. And why is Panama Canal important to us? Again, it has reduced distances. It has reduced distances. Now tell me, can you tell me who was General de Gaulle? General de Gaulle became the President of France in 1958. And he was the war general. He was the commander-in-chief of the French forces in Second World War. Afterwards, he became the President of France. And General de Gaulle is very important in history because, you know why General de Gaulle is very important in history? He is very important in history because he tried to bring Europe together. He developed friendship relationships with Germany. You see, European countries have been fighting among themselves for 100 years. 100 years they fought among themselves. And General de Gaulle tried to bring the European countries together economically. He said, let there be a European Union. He said, let there be a European Union. And let this union be concerned with economic market. And he established friendship relationship with Germany. Germany and France were always fighting with each other. France and England were also fighting always with each other. But Germany and France was more acutely bitter. So he established friendship with Germany, everlasting friendship. And that friendship is every year celebrated. Now you see, General de Gaulle was a liberal president. He liberated Liberia. What is that country which was a French colony in Africa? There were so many French colonies, but Algeria. It was General de Gaulle's time that Algeria was made free. And about Algeria, but we know about Algeria becoming free during General de Gaulle's time. And this was not liked by some of his people, and there were some bomb attacks also on him, but he was safe. Acha, now see, can you tell me when in 1930s, in 1830s, Egypt was Greece was a colony. In 1830s, Greece was a colony. Up to 1830s, Greece was a colony. ये किसकी colony थी? Greece किसकी colony थी? Greece was the colony of which? It was the colony of Ottoman Empire. Greece was the colony of Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire जो था ना, Ottoman Empire was a Muslim empire. It was Muslim dominated empire, or say it was a Muslim empire. And Greeks were Christians. The Christians did not want to remain under Muslims. So there was a lot of unrest. And the unrest started in 1822. And then in 1832, Greece became free from Ottoman Empire. Acha, do you know this Ottoman Empire was a very big empire? Do you know this Ottoman Empire was covering the whole of North Africa and entire Eastern Europe? It was a very big empire. Who was the president of Soviet Union at a time when it broke into 12 states? No, it was Mikhail Gorbachev. He got a peace prize because Cold War ended with the dissolution of Soviet Union. Achha, how do you remember? How do you remember these 12 states? There is a code we have given for 12 states. That is Russian Kutta MBG. Russian Kutta MBG, K square, U square, T square, and Kutta A square. Now Russia is one country.
Yes, sir.
Now if we say K, there are two states, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. Then there is Uzbekistan and Ukraine.
Yes.
Then there is Turkestan and Pakistan. Then there is Armenia and Azerbaijan. Then M is Moldova, B is Belarus, and G is Georgia. You know, codes are very important. When Newton discovered 7 colors of light, he also codified it and said with Gior, and we are still remembering. You know that NCERT is also a code for National Council of Scientific Research. National NCERT, National Council of Education, Research and Training. Big name, but it has been codified as NCERT. Similarly, codes help us to remember things. So we developed a code for Russian 12 states into which it was broken, so it was broken, and that is Russian Kutta, MBG, K square, U square, T square, A square. Achha, and do you know all these 12 countries then put themselves into union? What is that called? That's called CIS. That is called CIS, Commonwealth of Independent States. They put themselves together in a union called CIS, CIS, Commonwealth of Independent States. This Commonwealth of Independent States is the Commonwealth of all those 12 states into which USSR has been broken. Now we have another Commonwealth also. Do you know which is that Commonwealth? British Commonwealth. British Commonwealth contains the entire countries which were the colonies of Britain. Canada is also part. Actually, the difference between, you see, when one country sends their people to another country, if both of them are part of this British Commonwealth, then they exchange high commissioners. If they are not a part of Commonwealth, then they exchange ambassadors. So you remember this. Commonwealth countries exchange among themselves high commissioners, and non-Commonwealth countries exchange among themselves ambassadors. But both are supposed to develop relationships, sweet relationships between the two countries to which they belong. Now, do you know, recently what happened was a certain country was taken away from Ukraine, which was that part of the country that was taken out from Ukraine. Crimea was dominated by Christians, and Ukraine is dominated by Muslims. So Christians said that they cannot live with Muslims together, therefore they asked for independence, and Russia tried to help them and separate from Ukraine. वही पुरानी चाल, जिसकी लाठी उसकी बहन, जिसकी लाठी उसकी बहन, समझा? So because Russia was a stronger country than Ukraine, though Ukraine had to say nothing, America did not want to indulge in it, then it would result in a big war, and they didn't want to put their people into war. Now again, I was talking of Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire, when did Ottoman Empire break? Ottoman Empire finally broke in 1912. In 1912, what happened? There was Balkan War. There was Balkan War in 1912, and in this Balkan War, the Eastern Europe countries defeated Turkey and they became free. Eastern European countries were helped by Russia because Eastern European countries were Slav Christians, and so Slav Christian Russians are also Slav Christians. So Christians helped Christians and helped them to become free. So thus Turkish Empire, जो Ottoman Empire था, वो break गया. Greece already निकल चुका था. 1912 में 1832 में Greece निकला, बहुत पहले निकला था, और 1912 में बाकी सब अलग हो गए. So Ottoman Empire reduced back to their own small Turkey country. And now I want to ask you, Acha. Now I want to ask you another important question, and let me go. Can you tell me when did Germany annex Poland? 1939. Yes. When did Germany annex Austria in Second World War?
Sir, Austria 1938.
1938. When did Germany annex Czechoslovakia? Again 1939. When did Germany attack Russia? 1941. When did America attack Japan? 1941. When did Stalingrad War take place in Second World War? 1942. When did Germany get defeated in Stalingrad War? 1943. 1942 the war started, and 1943 Germany was defeated. That started the defeat of Hitler and his allied force. Acha, who was the dictator of Italy?
Mussolini.
Mussolini. Hitler was the dictator of Germany. Mussolini was the dictator of Italy. And who was the dictator of Spain? General Franco. Who was the dictator of Portugal? General Bispo. So you have to remember this is past history. But by the way, can you tell me what happened on 9/11? Which was the year?
9/11, 1908.
No, 9/11 happened in 2001.
2001, sir.
When did Parliament attack take place? Again in 2001. When did Bombay attack take place? 2008. 26 November 2008. Achha, can you tell me when did the long war took place? 7-8 years war between Iraq and Iran. That was 1980 to 1988. When did the first Gulf War take place?
1965.
First Gulf War took place in 1991, and second Gulf War took place in 2003. Very good. You are all bright and wonderful. And this quiz session ended today, and I thank you all.